Hi, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the replay. Welcome to Daily Fuel. My name is Bobby, and I am the host of this group, Spiritual by Fuel Blue. Fuel Blue. Fuel Blue. I like that word, Fuel Blue. I made up that word too. Two meaning quantity. I did not make up the word spiritual. Graham Penn did, or heard it from where and told me. Anyway, I asked him and he said yeah, so I took it. And so if you are in the replay, then do me a favor and let me know you're in the replay. Write a hashtag, write a comment, write a something. Let me know. I like knowing that people are watching this, even if you're not live. It just kind of helps me gauge who the hell's seeing this stuff. It's hard for me to know. If you're live, like Nathan is, then you can say hello. Nathan says, "Hey, Bobby," and hello to all. See, that is the proper way to greet me. You say hello to me, and then you say hello to everybody else. Thanks, buddy. How you doing? Nice to see you. Good day, honorable furry little being. Oh, that's nice. That's a cool way. I like that one too. You didn't even bother saying hello to everybody else. That's fine. As long as you get me in there, I'm golden. Thank you, Ray. Nice to see you as well. So we're just going to wait another minute or so, see if more people jump on. Yesterday, it was weird because I started talking and all of a sudden like 6 comments showed up all at the same time. It was cool. Like a lot of people got here really early. Today, just you guys. So we will see. Anyway, I got something to talk about today. That's like a pressing issue for me. So I'm hoping there's kind of a crowd here. I'd like to get some feedback and some comments going. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to wait another 30 seconds or so before I start. But if we don't get more, I'll just get going for you. If you're in the replay, skip to a few seconds from now, and I'll start. And I guess that doesn't help because you've already been waiting 2.5 minutes. Anyway, you know what? Screw them. Let's just get started. Here we go. What are you worth? What are you worth? That's a question. That's an existence question. That's like that's a what is the meaning of life kind of a question. Uh, what are you worth? And how do you measure that? We're going to talk about that in just a second. So, some of the issues that we have, I'm going to generalize, but I'm also going to be talking specifically about myself. So, some of the issues that we have, I think, as artists, is to figure out our standing in society and how much what we do is worth to society, to other people, to customers, to whatever, whether you're in business or not. We would like to know that we have value, even as human beings, and that the work that we create has value for other people. So I want to talk about that today. So I got my 3 things, right? Number 1 is art has no value, right? I don't believe that, but that's what I think a lot of people believe, and whether they believe it or not, people like to say it, certainly. And there's this prolific thing where art just doesn't have much value. As soon as there's budget concerns, the funding for arts just gets cut immediately. That's like the first thing people cut the arts. We don't need that shit, and that's just kind of how it is. And then there's all the cliches about like starving artists and the prolific. Did I use that word already? I had it written down. I wanted to use that word. I think I said it already. Anyway, the prolific belief that you just can't make money as an artist. And it's kind of sad that people believe that, because on the other end of the spectrum are these artists that make millions of dollars. There's this art world out there where people are spending millions of dollars on art. And I understand that it's for tax reasons and all this shit, but still it's there, and so it's kind of like there's this place where art is this elite, like, valuable thing, and then there's the rest of the world where everybody's just like, that's crap. It's cool, but it's crap, and I don't believe that, and I don't want to spread that belief, but I want to sort of engage with it and just sort of put it in its place, because I think that belief whether there are people in the world that have it. Here's what I'm getting at. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to figure out how to say this, and it just dawned on me. Whatever you're talking about in this world, the people who are negative about something are usually the loudest. I have found, the people who are just like really mean or rude or against. Right? People are very loud when they are against something. And usually when you're for something, you're kind of quiet about it because you're just like, that's cool. And you just keep going about your thing. You don't need to like shout it to the rooftops, I'm for this thing. But when people are against something, man, they just want the whole world to know this stinks and I don't like this. And I think that art kind of falls into that topic. Not that people don't like art, but the fact that people have this prolific belief. I'm going to use that word as many times as I can today. Let's count. And this belief that just pervades our society that art does not have a value. And I think that what happens is we hear it so much because the negative people are loud that it kind of gets into our psyche and it kind of becomes part of the brand of being an artist. There is no cliche of the rich artist. That's just not a thing. People, rich like an artist. No, people don't say that. People say starving artists. Starving, not struggling, not mediocre, not middle of the road, not suburban artist. It's friggin' starving. Why do we have to starve for our art? Why should we have to do that? The answer is we don't. It's just that this is this prolific. I'm gonna pound this fucking word into the ground today. It's this prolific thing. What does prolific mean, by the way? In case you're sitting there saying, "What is this word?" It means perpetuating. It never ends. It's all over the place. It's everywhere. It is just constant. It is this constant belief that there is a starving artist mentality. And then here we go, I'm an artist, well, I guess I'm starving. And it's just, we just kind of step into this belief system. See, I'm against it. That's why I'm loud. So, what do we do about this? Well, that's number one, is that this is what I feel like we're kind of up against with this what are we worth question, is that there's this pervading, prolific belief that art does not have a value in our society. But we know better because we understand what art means and we understand what art does for people. And people who like art also understand that, but they're not as loud and they're not as prolific. So my second, number two, is that I don't know that a dollar amount for art ever sounds really right. And maybe the problem is that we try to measure value in our society with dollars or whatever, if you're not in the, if you don't use dollars in your country, whatever you use, but you understand what I mean by that. So, we measure the worth of something usually in dollars. And I think that art goes beyond that, which is why it's so hard to value it, because art isn't, in my mind, just about dollars. Obviously, we want dollars. We want to buy food and eat and have a house and shit. But that's not why we became artists. Nobody becomes an artist because they want to be rich, Here I am saying it, right? Nobody does it for that reason. We become artists because it's our passion. It's something in us is driving us to create. I would think that the ruler, the measuring stick for art is more like lives touched. How valuable is art when we measure it in lives touched? And then if we change our mindset about that, by the way, I don't have the answer to this today. I'm more of like I'm posing a question and I'm pointing myself in a direction to figure this out. When we point ourselves in the direction of measure the worth of ourselves in our art and our artistic creations through lives touched or something in that realm, and then how do we transform that into dollars? That's the question that I want to find an answer to. How do we transform that into dollars with lives touched? So number three that I have is that, and I'm going to try to touch upon an answer today with number three, is this is one of the biggest problems that I've had my entire career. Now, I'm I'm not in my 20s. I didn't just start my career a couple years ago. I've been doing this for years, right? And I've been doing art in various ways. I'm not a fine artist where I don't do commissions and things like that, but I do art in the graphic arts fields, and I do it for clients and in marketing and branding stuff. I do websites and logos and things like that. Is basically what my career has been for a couple of decades now. And my biggest problem has always been charging. I'll be honest with you. It's always been like what to charge. And I landed on numbers that really haven't changed in years. They just haven't changed. We're in the middle of this inflation thing going on in the world right now, but if somebody called me for a website, I'd still give them the same number. And that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's not because I think that's what it's worth. And it's not because I think that that's all I'm worth. It's just that I think that I don't know what the hell I think. And here's what I kind of figured out today is that I've got two things. If I make the number too low, that I'm charging for anything art related, then I feel like I'm begging people. I just feel like, come on, I'll do it for $100, And it's like, I'm not doing your website for $100 anymore. But there were times in the past where I would just, whatever number they said, I would say yes, so I could get that friggin' check that day, And that never worked out for me. Just spoiler alert. So I would feel like I'm begging, or I would feel like I was just like taking anything just to get, just to get something. But at the same time, if I raised my forget it. Now I'm charging $85,000 for a single web page. It's like if I raised my prices anything, then it would feel like that. It would feel ridiculous, and I would start to worry that I was pricing people out. I can't charge that much. People that I talk to, people in my circles, they can't afford that. And meanwhile, I'm looking at this guy over here, just, who doesn't, I don't have anyone in mind, but I can remember people that had other web design businesses throughout the years that I've had my web design business that were charging tens of thousands of dollars for the same website that I would do for $3,500, and I would just always scratch my head like, how do they get that? How did they get anyone to say yes to that? I say $3,500 sometimes, and people like have a conniption in front of me at the meeting table, and I'm just like, calm down, we can talk, And so I'm always like, I feel like if I go too low, I'm begging, but if I go too high, I start to worry that I'm pricing people out, or I worry like I can't even afford me at this price, So how do you price it? How do you find a number that you're comfortable with for anything that you're selling, And I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I don't have a solution. I haven't figured it out or anything like that. But I'm going to try different things. That's what I'm kind of telling you today. I'm going to try different things. And the first thing that I'm trying is, if you don't know, I just launched fuelblue.com, and it's going to be premium content for membership. So, if you like what we do here in the group and you like Daily Fuel, then you're really going to like fuelblue.com, because it's going to be a lot more edited, and it's not just going to be the Daily Fuels like my Quantity Plus idea, but it's not going to be, it already is. I've already built it. I have so much content that I've done over the years, and I've put it together, and it's at fuelblue.com, and I just decided this. I know that if I made it too low, that I would feel like I was begging people, come give me $1, right? But I also knew if I made it too high, that I'm going to feel like I'm pricing people out. So I was like, there's no number in this range that I feel comfortable at. I can't find one. No matter what number I picked, I was like, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that. There is no number that I am comfortable with. So you pick the number. Here's what I've done. I've just made it a minimum of $3 a month. It's $3 a month minimum. And why that? Because if it's less than that, then PayPal practically takes the whole thing and I get nothing. So that didn't work for me. So $3 a month minimum, and you can have everything I make. That's it. If you can do more than $3 a month, then please do. If you can't do $3 a month, then don't even bother. Because I'm not trying to make anybody go broke here. But my feeling was this. I want to measure my worth in lives touched. That's all I keep thinking. And I didn't come up with lives touched today. I've been thinking that for years. Ever since I started Planet Bonehead. And I was just like, I would love it. I would just love every kid in America to see this show. How do I do that? And I didn't know how to do it. I know how to make the show, but I don't really know how to make everybody watch it, So I've tried selling it here. I tried doing it this way and doing it that way. And nothing ever felt right to me because no matter where I priced it or how I sold it or anything like that, it just always felt icky, you know? And I remember saying this to my my coach friend Landon one afternoon when we were talking. I was just like, if I could, I would just give it away. I would just put it up on the internet and be like, watch it, you know, and I would, because that's why I do Daily Fuel. I do what I do because I love doing this. I love doing this. And I have so much that I've done over the years, and I was going through it all, and I was just like, there's just so much here. There's just so much here. And I bet if you looked at your life, if you looked at your art, if you looked at the work that you've done over the years, I bet you have more to offer than you realize. I bet that you have more to bring to the table than you even can imagine. And for me, the way that I want to measure my self-worth is through lives touched. How many people am I helping? How many people am I uplifting? I have a belief. My belief was this, that if I price it too low, I'm begging. If I price it too high, I'm pricing people out. But if I'm going for lives touched, then I think that, and I believe that I will somehow, the universe will somehow transform that into dollars. And the only way I could think to get that started, and this is going to be an experiment, so if it changes at some point, don't yell at me, but is that you pick the price. How much is this worth to you? Is it worth $3 a month? Then go pay $3 a month. Is it worth $33 a month? Then go pay that. You know, is it worth $3,000 a month? Then go pay that. You know, what is it worth to you to support me to do this? And to get all the shit that I made that's up on fuelblue.com. So that's where I'm at with this. And the reason I'm there is because it's the only thing I can think of that feels good to me. And that feels like this is how I can touch as many lives as possible. $3 a month, almost anybody can afford that. So if you want it, you can have it. If you don't want it, then don't buy it. I'm not asking you to buy it if you don't want it. But I'm saying, like, anyone who wants it can have it. Because I'm making it anyway. So there you go. That's what I got today. And if you have a question about what I just said and pricing your art specifically, ask it in the comments, and let's talk about it. But let's see who's here and what you guys have to say. Ray said, sorry to the rest of you. I've been sick. Can only do one thing at a time. Okay, hi to the rest. All right, because you just said hi to me. I hope you're feeling better. Any better? All right. We'll get better soon. Rest. Yeah, I got that. Hello. How are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining, Jesse. Hi, Bobby. Hi, everyone. There you go. Hashtag be loud and proud. There you go. Yes. Hi, Kirsten. Today, the value of my hugs was set at if you don't need me to run to town for you while you're not feeling well. It was a nice feeling. Yeah. So, what? You're not feeling well, so you just want to be left alone. Is that what you're saying? Well, I hope you feel better. That's all I can say to that. And Kelly says, I am so realizing, wait. Do you mean like I'm so realizing my worth, or I'm so realizing my worth? I'm not sure what you mean there. Let me see what Jill said. I've been way undervaluing myself. Money aside, economy aside, I am so motherfucking valuable. All right, so you're like and pay me. Very good. Ray says, wow, Ray, there's a lot of comments. Usually you're like hello in the beginning and quiet the rest of the show. I used to look at the bills that had to be paid and charged accordingly for the next project. Interesting. A leather book cover was worth my kid's backpack for school. It worked for a while. Yeah, right? It's like you're trying to be like, well, if I could just get enough to pay this stuff, and so that's what you charge. But is that what you're worth? What are you worth? You know? The other reason that I did this pay what you want thing, and the reason it felt good to me, was because I felt like if I am putting out a positive energy, right? If I'm putting out a number that's too low, if I just made it $3 a month, right, across the board, then what would happen is I'd be afraid that I'm undervaluing myself and I'm just begging people to do it. And that wouldn't feel right to me. So what would happen is my energy going out would be not good. But if I would just make it then my other thought was it's just $33 a month. 33 is my magic number. I'm just making it $33 a month. And then I'm just like, man, I just know that's going to be a hard sell for some people. A lot of people are going to be like, I would like that, but I'm not paying $33 a month. It's just, I'm not taking on that subscription. There are some people who would be like, oh, that's fine. I could do more than that. But a lot of people can't. And I'm okay with that. I understand that. And I could have, if I were of the mindset that I'm just like, nope, this is what I'm worth. This is what I charge. You can't pay for it, then get out. A lot of entrepreneurs are like that and can do that. And there's nothing wrong with that attitude if that's your attitude. But it was never mine. And because I want to measure myself in lives touched. So if what I'm doing is I'm saying, here's the bar. If you're under it, you can't get in. Well, then I'm not touching those lives and I'm undervaluing myself. That was a magical thought for me. I'm undervaluing myself by pricing too high. How is that possible? Because dollars is not my measuring stick. That was it. So I trust that if I am putting out positive energy as like, no, I'm charging this amount because charging money is the way we have to do it because we live in this world with money. Well, if that's the way we have to do it, then you just tell me what the number is. That's it, And you just tell me what the number is. And that'll be your number. And you may come on in, And for you, the number's this. And for you, the number's that. But you picked. It's your number. And I just want to be able to touch you. Not literally, but you know what I mean. And that works for me. Or I'm going to keep pictures of client charts to remember the look on them when I touched their hearts. Pictures of clients' charts. You mean their faces? What do you mean, pictures? Like this, the look on their face when they saw it? Is that what you mean? Like screenshots? I'm going to go with that you're going to read their chart or show them their chart or whatever you do, and they're going to go like, and you're going to take a picture of that so that you can remember the look on their face, because maybe for you, that look on their face when they got that thing from you, that's the value. The problem is that we turn around and we're like, that's great, but I can't buy food with that. I can't feed my kids with that. I can't buy the backpack with that, right? But so we stop going for that. And that's our downfall. Because we're supposed to go for that. That's what we're supposed to go for. The universe is like, oh, I know how to turn that into money. Stop trying to turn that into money. You don't know how to do that. You know how to get that look on their face. You know how to share your content and teach people how to do really cool things so that they can grow their lives and their businesses. That's what I know how to do. I know how to do that. I don't know how much it's worth in dollars, but I know what it's worth to me when somebody says, this group really helps me, and this is amazing, and you're so good at this, and you're so good at that, and you've really helped me this way, and you've really helped me that way. I know that I'm helping people in this group, and I know that what I'm doing with FuelBlue.com could also help you guys even more. I just don't know how much it's worth in dollars. And every number that I try doesn't feel good. And I can't give it away for free. So there's that. Otherwise, then I have to go get a job, and then I don't have time to do it. So there's my dilemma, you see. Ray, my next book, The Old Stone Bench, An Old Woman's Tales, may be available for Lives Touched. Sounds good to me. There you go. Try it. See what this means. And maybe lives touched isn't the right words. Maybe it's look on their face, or maybe it's accolades, or whatever. Some kind of emotional payment. We do our art for the emotional payoff. What is it for you? And then how can you start to trust that the universe knows how to take that emotional payoff and turn it into dollars? We're so busy trying to figure out how to turn it into dollars that we stop doing the art and no one's happy and we're not getting the looks on our face and we're not touching lives. That's why I stopped doing Daily Fuel for a couple of months, because I was trying to figure out how to turn it into dollars so hard that I didn't even have the energy to do it. And then I'm sitting there going, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not doing anything. That's not good. Well, I got back into doing it. I just said, get your ass up and go do the thing. Go do the thing and touch the lives. And the dollars will figure themselves out. And that's where I am today. Nathan, I forgot, I got to hang on for your comment. Okay. Self-esteem is an individual's subjective evaluation of their own worth. Subjective, yeah, it is subjective, right? Because some people might look at me. I know plenty of entrepreneurs out in entrepreneur land where I used to live that would be like, that's a stupid thing. Dude, you should be charging $997 for access to your course, and that's it. You get a and I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I get that. I completely get that. There's a bonus thing in my group that I used to sell for $300. I could just sell that and not even make any of this other shit. I could do that, but that's not touching lives. It's not what I'm doing. It's not what I do. It's not what I be. You know what I mean? We got to figure out how to be us and let the universe turn that into money somehow. And it's subjective. That's the point that he just made, is that it's subjective. What works for me may not work for you. So what I'm telling you is that this is my template. Figure out what the energy payoff is. What is your energy measuring stick for value and worth? And then don't try to figure out how to turn that into dollars. Turn it into dollars. If you trust it, it will. Maybe not in one day. Maybe not in 1 week. But give it a month. Give it a couple of months and see what happens, you know? Might not take a couple of months. The things for me, when I get my head on straight, they happen in a week. Sometimes that same day. Sometimes, not all the time. You learned how to breathe. She doesn't have to remind you anymore. Certain people are triggers for me to breathe. I know that Nathan's comment is going to make me think because I like his vocabulary, and I know that Robin's comments when she's here, I need a long breath to exhale the words out of my mouth. Doesn't have to. Yeah, I know. Not an actual picture of them unless they consent. Okay, that's creepy. Well, I mean, you know, if you're if it's just for you, I don't care. But a mental picture, yes. But I meant a picture of their chart. Okay, whatever you meant. Something that triggers in your mind, because you said the look on their face. So something that triggers in your mind a reminder of the way you did that energy connection, right? There you go. Hey, look who's here. How you doing, man? Quality is remembered long after price is forgotten. That's also true, and that's a really good thing to remember. You know, is that the quality and the value I would add to that. You know, I'm not going to nitpick that one because that one's perfect. Thanks, buddy. Hang on, I need a drink of water. I appreciate the pricing out conversation. I love people and I want to be able to help many people. I think this is why a lot more people are going on a sliding scale. Interesting. It's intimidating to do even the sliding scale thing, even if we are not already confident in our own value, because it is scary to just place it in the discernment of another. Especially another who is judging the service or content we are providing. Okay, let's talk about this. There's a lot to unpack in this one. I'm going to go backwards on this. Especially another who is judging the service of the content we are providing. If you're judging it, then you're probably not that person's audience. You know, I don't have anyone in this group who's going like, Daily Fuel sucks. Then leave. I didn't bring you into the group at gunpoint. I don't sneak people in. I don't get people to join in some nefarious way. I put an ad out there, people see it, they like it, I say join the group, they go okay, and there they are. And that's how you all got here, most of you. You know what I mean? And that's it. I put something out there, I put some energy out there, and some people are just like, that's stupid, and they walk away. And other people are like, that rocks. And here they are. So now that I'm here and I'm doing my thing, the only people that I'm saying, hey, look at Fuel Blue, is you guys. I'm not gonna have a billboard in Times Square where people are gonna be like, that's dumb. You know, I'm not Netflix. I'm not trying to build something that's gonna have 10 million people in it. I want something that's gonna be valuable to the people who are my people. That's it. Be you. Let the people who like you gather themselves around you and then sell them something. That's how you do it. But if you're worried that they're going to think it's dumb, then stop worrying that, because if you're doing it right, the only people there are going to think you're cool. Otherwise, why would they be there? That's the first thing you said. The other thing you said was the sliding scale thing. One of the reasons that this works for me is because I am selling something that I don't have to then go and do for them. You know, like your thing, Kelly, is time based. So you know, if somebody wants you to do their chart for them or a reading for them or something, then you now have to spend the time to do it. I'm already doing this. I've already got it. I've already got all this content, and I'm making new content anyway. I can't help it. I just make it. And so, you know, if somebody wants to pay me $3 for it, or $30 for it, or $300 for it, doesn't matter, because I've already made it anyway. You know, so why price people out? Let them come in at any amount, because it's just more money. It doesn't matter. It's not. It doesn't hurt. You know, it's like if I can't do websites that price anything you want. How much you want to pay for the website? $5? Cool. No, I can't do that. It takes me way too long. I need to charge for the time, you know? So that's something to consider. But the sliding scale idea isn't so bad. Here's how I used to do it with websites. By the way, here's two things. If you sell a service that requires time, here are two things to consider. Number one, this is a bonus daily fuel. You ready? Number one, if you're going to give them a number on your high end, so that if you can come down, now they feel like they're getting a bargain. All right, that's the first thing. Don't start with your low number or where you want to be, because they're going to haggle you down. So start higher than you want to be and let them haggle you down to where you want to be. That's usually that. But let's say you've got this sliding scale thing. I used to have this thing where it's like people would tell me what they would want. And then what I would do is I would tell them, well, if we did everything, it would be this number, you know? How do you feel? And then I would ask them how they feel about that number. And if they said, that number sounds good, I would shut up. At that point, I have nothing more to say. Where do you sign? I would just let them talk and tell me all the reasons why it sounds good and why they need it, and then ask me for a contract, and then they would sign it, and then they'd give me a check. And that'd be great. But sometimes they would go, oh, that's a lot of money. But I already know what I'm doing because I have a sliding scale. I started with all the bells and whistles. Now in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, well, we could leave this thing out, or we could just do this and this and not that third thing, or maybe do that next year, and do it for this much. And now they're feeling like, oh, we went from this much to this much. I can breathe now, you know? And this much is where I wanted to be in the first place. So you start big with everything, and then you let them bring you down. But sometimes you start big with everything, and they go, okay. And there you go. I could do a daily fuel on that one day if you're interested. It all comes down, that was like briefly how to do it, but it all comes down to beefing up that inner conversation that says, I'm not broken or wrong or fucked up. I'm awesome, and my whole being is value. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about in the beginning of this thing, is that we have this prolific, I haven't used that word in a while, it's been almost 20 minutes. Oh, 33 minutes. We're at 33 minutes. Look at that. I don't usually look at the clock. But when I do and it says 33 minutes, I get happy. There's this prolific thing that art has no value, that we are starving artists. Oh my God, I'm starving to death. Nobody's starving to the rich house. You know, we're all starving to death. That's what starving means. So, what did you say? I forgot what I said. I went off on a 33 tangent. Right, so change your own attitude. It's like the value is, what is the value to you? For me, I'm going with lives touched. That's my new measuring stick. What is it for you? That's the question. The best payment I ever got was the look on the face of a guy who directed a high school production of Godspell. I did a wood burning of the sheet music cover. He ran all the way through the theater. Isn't that amazing when you do a thing for somebody and they are just overjoyed with it, right? Overjoyed with it. Can you go to the bank and be like, hey, this person was overjoyed. Can you deposit that in my checking account? They're going to be like, get the fuck out of here, right? But you can't do that. But the universe can But we don't believe the universe can. That's where our problem is. We go, well, that's great, but I can't eat that, right? And now we are putting our mindset into this negative small place. That's why artists are starving, because we're too busy trying to figure out how to do the job of the universe. We're too busy trying to figure out how to take that energy, the energy of that person. The next time you make something for somebody and they run around the theater with it, soak that in, and say a prayer or do a spell or whatever the fuck you do, and just say, turn this into value for me, beyond just this amazing feeling that I have, right? This is my payment. This is my value. This is my worth. I should be living like a queen or a king with this. This could pay me forever and ever and ever. It could. And the universe is like, oh, that's a great idea. But we just go, that's not possible. Damn. And so it doesn't happen because we block it. The universe is like, no, it's totally possible. It's right here. And we're like, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Don't even show it to me. I don't believe it. Because nobody else believes it. And if I told them that, they'd put me in the nut house. Again. If everybody is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. Henry Ford. That's cool. How do we approach that? How do we apply that to this? If we are all moving forward together as a group, then we are all uplifting each other. Let's use it that way. Kelly says, I didn't mean judge in a mean or bad sense. I meant it more like in a repeat business sense. Considering if it was worth it to them. Oh, okay. But that conversation was good too. Okay, so well, all right. So they're in your audience. They like you. They come to you. They hear about you, whatever. And now they're like, Kelly, do a thing for me. Here's money. You do the thing. And now they're judging it at that point is what you're saying, right? What did my good friend say a few minutes ago? Where is he? Oh, for crying out loud, I skipped right over it. He was right here. Here he is. Quality is remembered long after the price is forgotten. If you can, Kelly, and everybody listening, if you can, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just know that you're paying me to do this thing. I am going to do it. Awesome. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be awesome. And if you can't do it awesome, then question, why am I doing this thing? You know, why do I still do this thing? Why is this the thing that I sell? I don't do it awesome. I don't love doing it. Or I'm not making anything that I think you're going to run around the theater with. You know what I mean? If you're not doing that, then figure out what you can be doing. And if the reason that you're not doing the thing that you could be doing to make people run around the theater is because there's no money in it, well, then you're trying to figure out what we're talking about. You're trying to figure out yourself how to transform lives touched into dollars. Don't do that. Just think about what it would be like to do this thing that you want to do and let the answers start coming to you about how they can become dollars. Oh, man. So, Kelly, where were we? I just lost myself. I didn't mean to. Right. So now what happens is maybe you're not worried about that in the run up to getting the client, but now you get the client and you do the thing and now you're worrying like, oh God, did they like that? Da, 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 da. You know you're awesome. You know you're awesome. If they don't know that you're awesome, then they will just go away at this point. They'll just become part of that audience that's not around anymore. But there are plenty of people who will do something with you and stick around afterwards. Plenty. Those are your people. Use them as your ruler. Anyone else who's not doing that, they don't count. They don't count because they are not your audience. We can't count our worth based on what everybody on earth thinks of us because we will all be worthless. There's no way in hell that most people in the world are going to like you. It's just not. You know, they might like you as a person or think, well, you're fine, I don't care. But they're not going to be like, that is so valuable. You know, if you got 7 billion people and this much think there's total value in you, well, that's worthless, right? But what do? We compare ourselves to Facebook. 7 billion people in the world and 2 billion of them are on Facebook. Wow, that's got some value. Well, I'm not building that. I'm not building that. I can't compete with that. I don't even want to compete with that. measure your value based on the people who love you. How much do they love you? They love me a lot. Well, people who love me a lot. So let me just find more of them. That's it. That's it. Bonus daily fuel. There you go. Smart man, that Mr. Ford. At least Henry. Hey, Amy, how are you? Hey, all. We'll have to catch up on replay. Had a bit of a food poisoning headache and fell asleep waiting for fuel. I am worth billions, and you are all worth the same billions of epicness. Yes. Banned from boobies tonight, so I'm going to bed. Night, y'all. Yup. You're from England. You don't say y'all there either. I may be starving to create something new. LOL. Okay. It has paid me forever. That was 50 years ago, and it's one of my favorite memories, and it keeps me at it. There you go, right? That's priceless. That's priceless. Good for you, Ray. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Truth. Truth! I'm the truth. All right, there we go. We're done. Kelly, you get the booby prize tonight. Thanks, everybody, for showing up, for hanging out, for chatting, for throwing in your 2 cents. I really appreciate it. Whew. 2 daily fuels in one. Well, 1.5 kind of. The second one only had 2 things. I didn't have a third one. But I should do that as a real daily fuel. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. All right. I will talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.